Hello everyone, this is Deepti Singh. In today's video, we will talk about Indo-Japan relationship. We will look at all the aspects, be it economical, political, cultural exchanges, or some of the agreements that have taken place currently. Most of the times, when we evaluate a study destination for ourselves, we forget a very important factor, the bilateral relationship between two countries. So अगर दो countries के बीच में जो relationship है, that is amicable, if they have a strong relation, in that case it will translate into more opportunities for students, it will translate into more business opportunities, and also for the workers who want to work in that country, it is definitely going to be more supportive. So in this case, we know that Japan and India, we share a very amicable relationship since historical times. But in today's video, we will talk about how this relationship started, currently what kind of projects both these countries are undertaking together. Some of you who are considering to study in Japan or to work in Japan, it might give you some idea about the kind of relationship this will develop into in future also. So let's start with some introduction, how these two countries really began their relationship. So the exchange between Japan and India is said to have begun in 6th century when Buddhism was introduced to Japan. When Buddhism entered Japan, obviously it had some traits of Indian culture and it filtered through Buddhism. This had a great impact on Japanese culture. And when you speak to Japanese personally also, they have a very favorable view of India. Buddhism impact on their culture is also the very reason that they feel close to India. After World War II in 1949, then Prime Minister of India, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, he donated an Indian elephant to the Ueno Zoo in Tokyo. And that was at the time when Japan was still recovering from the aftermath of World War II. And it brought a ray of light into their lives. There were no elephants in Japan at that time. After that, Japan and India signed a peace treaty. This was in 1952. And this treaty was one of the first peace treaties that Japan signed after World War II. Since then, both the countries have entered into many trade relations as well. India started to export its iron ore to Japan, and Japan reciprocated this by providing yen loans to India, which now we commonly known as ODA. They started to provide these loans to India for infrastructure development as early as 1958. Now Japan has become, of course, the India's one of the largest donors to India, and the grants that has been extended to India are in the sectors such as power, transportation, environment, infrastructure, as we all know about. For example, Delhi Metro, that is one of the most successful examples of Japanese cooperation through the utilization of ODA. So these ODAs, which are also known as official development assistance, they have been largely made to India. India is the largest receiver. As much as $90 billion have gone into Delhi-Mumbai Industrial Corridor, which is again a project between both the countries. Japan is also backing the Mumbai-Ahmedabad high-speed rail, which is also known as the bullet train project. This will introduce Japan's Shinkansen, Japan's bullet train technology to India. It is a flagship project between both the countries. Japanese private sector's interest in India has only been rising in the current years, and we can see many companies that have come to India in recent years. The total number of these companies right now stand at around 1,500. There are some ancillary companies also. If you include those companies, then this number is close to 5,000. While there are some cultural similarities between both the countries, there are cultural gaps also, differences also in terms of language. But the number of Japanese companies in India have constantly been rising. There are some other alliances and agreements which are worth mentioning. For example, Indo-Pacific Quadrilateral Dialogue. More popularly, it is known as Quad. It is an agreement between India, Japan, US and Australia. This is a security alliance which was started by the late Prime Minister of Japan, Mr. Shinzo Abe. And the main objective of this Quad relationship was to counter the power of China, which was excessively growing in military and economic terms. Under this alliance, both India and Japan, they are permanent members and they indulge in joint military exercises regularly. Both these countries, Japan and India, they are the most powerful countries in the Asia region, which is why they work together in maintaining peace in Indian subcontinent and Asia at large. But despite having excellent political and cultural ties, you will notice that people-to-people exchange between these countries have not been as great as one would expect. At ground level, for example, if you speak to any Japanese or any Indian, the knowledge about each other's culture is very limited. Similarly, tourism or the number of students or workers in each other's country, they have not grown exponentially as one would expect given such amicable relationship between these countries. To help this cause, both the countries have come up with many agreements which will help students and workers to work in different sectors. There are so many exchange programs which help Indian students go to Japan at minimal cost and experience their culture and academic environment. Similarly, for workers also from India, they can go programs such as TITP, SSW, which we will talk about more in our upcoming videos. SSW, I have already spoken about it in one of my previous videos. I have tagged it here. Workers from India can also go to Japan and work there for a long time at very reasonable and very good wages. In various sectors, there are jobs available for them. Just to mention, just last year, which is the year 2022, marked the 70th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relationship between Japan and India. Various cultural events took place both in Japan and India to promote mutual understanding of both the countries. The last visit, which was paid by Japan's Prime Minister Mr. Kishida to India, which was in the year 2022, the Prime Minister agreed to invest as much as 5 trillion yen to Indian economy. They agreed on various infrastructure projects in the next 5 years. So all these large commitments and agreements are to ensure that there will be bright opportunities for students and workers, whoever chooses to learn Japanese or go to Japan to study. And for those of you who want to work in Japan, there is definitely a very good future waiting for you. So this is all for today's video. I hope it was useful for you to know how both the countries are coming together, becoming closer day by day. And in the near future, we can expect Japan and India to be closer than ever. Thank you. Subscribe to the channel and like the video.